Coronation Chicken, King Charles and Polo are all related to today's restoration video, and I'll explain why in a second as I attempt to restore one of my favourite dress watches of all time, the Reverso by Jaeger Lecoultre. I'll be showing you some restoration techniques that I haven't featured on the channel yet, which requires £53,000 worth of equipment, which I don't have. So I'll be taking you on a little road trip in this episode to seek some assistance from some old school masters as I show you around probably the oldest part of Birmingham, vital in the Industrial Revolution, known as the Jewellery Quarter, a place full of amazing little bricks and mortar workshops and stores and many hidden gems where I spend a lot of my time wheeling and dealing. So come along and take a little ride with me. Greetings friends, and a very warm welcome to you all. So King Charlie is getting coronated this week, and I thought it would be a lovely coincidence for me to do a restoration of this Reverso by Jaeger Lecoultre. As you may know, the new King of England loves a game of polo, and played it competitively for many years during his youth.
Yes, one does like a jolly good game of polo when one is not kinging around, don't you know?
Well, what's that got to do with the bloody watch?
Well, you see, my good fellow, in 1930 in British-occupied India, British Army officers playing a game of polo complained about having their watch glasses smashed and buggered up during polo matches. Long story short, a challenge was set and the challenge was met, giving birth to the Reverso, a watch that can be flipped around during matches to protect it from the klabam of a polo bat stick.
Oh, okay. So what about the Coronation Chicken?
Oh, I just added that for effect in the intro. But if you must be so pedantic, Coronation Chicken was a dish invented for the banquet at the coronation of the late Queen Elizabeth II in 1953, which also had some influence from the old British Raj. This year's coronation banquet will probably be something organic, grown in the king's backyard, since he is a bit of an environmentalist. Now the Reverso is my favourite dress watch, and in one of the first videos I ever did on YouTube of the military style JLC, which kind of put me on the map to my surprise, I mentioned in that video that I wanted to do a Reverso restoration for you guys one day. Check out that video if you haven't seen it. It's worth it for the cringe factor alone. Looking back at it now, I was such a noob, and filming and editing and the colour palette, ugh. And although I have serviced many Reversos over the years, it's taken me this long to find a worthy project to film, as these watches don't usually turn up in battered state. Even though it was a watch designed to take a rollicking, I don't think most wearers use them for polo nowadays. Now one may argue that it's not a dress watch because it was designed as a sports watch. Well, you can argue all you like. I'm a huge Art Deco fan, and this watch was designed at the pinnacle of that era. So even a bulldozer designed in that era would be designed as a dress bulldozer. So naturally a utility watch designed in that era would be designed with that Art Deco flavour, with style and elegance at the forefront. But let's not argue, it's a stylish dress watch that can be flipped and reversed to act as a utility sports watch. There, everyone's happy. The model is over 90 years old now, and for most part of that time has always been a manual wind watch. But modern iterations come in many forms such as autos, quartz, tourbillons, chronographs and much more. So first things first, let's dismantle the case. So as you can see, the case back has some really serious marks on them, and someone has previously tried to polish these out without much success. This is evident from the incorrect mirror polish finish and the very faded laser etched text and numbers on the case back. Some of the marks and dings go so far down that they are deeper than the text itself, and the worst part is that a lot of the marks are actually right on the text, numbers and logos. So trying to polish them out in the conventional way would mean having to take off metal all the way beyond the text itself and eventually lose all the text and numbers. So what I'm going to do is use a professional laser welding machine to add some metal onto the case back and then re-etch all the detailing. Finish. It's supposed to be a straight grain finish anyway, but somebody's mirrored the heck out of it, so it's even harder to see the way that those two impacts have caused the case to dent slightly. So I'm going to try and hammer it out and see if I can flatten it out before I do anything further. I don't know if you can just about see. I do have some metal ones, but I don't want to mark the inside of that case back, so I'm just using these wood ones, and I think I'm getting somewhere. It's not as bad as on the reflection as before, just a little bit right on that. You can see it now, can't you? Yeah, so you can see a bit better now, just there. So let's see if we can get that out. Take it really slow. It's right on the edge, isn't it? That looks much better, actually. And obviously we'll fill that up. We'll fill it up and take it back down again. Jewelry quarter.
We enter a jewelry quarter.
And I've got my crazy Italian friend doing some recording. This is the oldest part of Birmingham. And the postcode is B1. Aaron Dennison set up not far away from here. This is Birmingham Jewelry Quarter. Yeah. Look at all these shops, got the cemetery just there.
Watchmaker already dead.
Some beautiful buildings, and we have this dark corridor. So amidst all these beautiful buildings with their beautiful shop fronts selling silver, gold, diamonds and all manner of precious items, we have some hidden gems tucked away that are far more precious than anything out on the main streets. The first shop I'm visiting today is a machining and manufacturing company called RF Bevan.
Yeah, not too bad coming in. Morning, Joe.
Right.
Yeah, coming in. Morning.
Look at this place. If you guys thought I had cool toys, these boys have the coolest toys. Let's see again.
Yeah.
So I've come to seek the assistance of this cool little company called RF Bevan, who have been around since the 1960s, and they have worked with small British watch manufacturers such as Struthers and other independent watchmakers, as well as huge car manufacturers such as Aston Martin. The workshop has that familiar smell of machine oil and metal, recognizable by any tinkerer who has been around old machines. With their eclectic mix of antique and modern machinery, they're able to take on large contracts, but also have the time of day for small one-off jobs like mine. Dave, the managing director, has been at the company for over 30 years and always has time to sit down for a chinwag to show me some of the projects he's working on. I'll leave their details in the descriptions, as I love supporting these amazing little local businesses and workshops. So we could do like a Nekkid watchmaker dial in the future, couldn't we, if we wanted?
No problem.
Yeah?
You come up with the design and we'll manufacture it.
Sure, yeah. And this
Is it Zelda, isn't it?
Zelda's The Matrix.
The Matrix.
I'm Andrew. I do laser engraving here. These are pens, pen barrels. So put some text around the pen barrel on there.
So if I were to try and buy one of these machines for home, what am I looking at?
I think that was 40,000.
Say that again.
I think it was 40,000. I believe that one.
40,000. So this is Andrew, who rules over the Matrix, and took a scan of the back of the watch, and just like Neo, did some kung fu wizardry on the computer and made a repaired version of the badly faded and damaged text and logos. Now it was up to me to prepare the case and give him a blank canvas to etch on. Andrew also mentioned that he needs the back completely free of the original text in order for him to work his magic. So I'm off to another shop to buy some supplies. So here we are in another cool little shop that supplies parts and equipment to the jewellery trade. with very friendly and helpful staff. My concern was trying to find the correct stainless steel to match the case, and in the end, with some help, I think we got something that might work. I wanted to laser weld 316 stainless steel into the little hole before I polish it. What's the thinnest 316 steel sort of wire you have?
Got 0.3, 0.45.
Yeah, 0.3. Is that the smallest, 0.3? I might do it actually.
Yeah, I'll have a quick look for you.
Okay. So I'm going to see one of my favourite bricks and mortar shops, and they usually work for donuts, but I'm stepping up the game and I'm taking some jumbo meat samosas. Oh yeah. See how you resist that one, boys. So now that I have my steel and my bribe, I'm off to another shop full of friendly and helpful dudes. But the only downside is they all support Aston Villa Football Club. Boo. Is this a library? Is this a library? Alright, Gen Z.
Yeah, good to see you. What you got?
Got some bribing stuff for you guys.
The gifting sounds good. I don't like the driving.
Jumbo meat samosas.
as well?
Yeah.
Don't get my fingers in. My fingers are knackered.
Don't worry, mine's are worse. Bit of promotion for the shop as well.
Sexy beast.
See, what we might be able to do is just, rather than add metal, we might be able to just laser what's there, just to cover it, just to smooth it. That one.
How much is that machine? guys?
13 grand or 20,000 samosas.
Yeah, but as I say, I'm looking.
Yeah, you could probably put a little bit on there.
Yeah.
Really fine wire.
Yeah. So I'm practicing on a little screw first.
Go a bit higher with the power.
Just a 10 grand.
You're missing the bloody wire, man.
No.
See if it's melted the surrounding
Yeah,
area.
then I can just go over that.
Which bit am I looking at? This bit?
What do you mean, what bit are you looking at? No,
That bit?
that bit there. The top there, up.
So what happened to the other bit? It's got holes in it?
I didn't do that bit.
Oh, right.
Well, I did, but not today. So, essentially, could that look?
And then you flatten it out.
Yeah. And then if you do a bigger spot, so keep the power the same, increase the spot. Essentially, that's what.
You made holes in it again?
No, I was in there.
Let's have a look.
I was in your lenses or something. Have a look under the scope.
You see now, look that and that's...
Yeah, have a look
That's
under
above.
the scope. And when you move it under the scope, it's like a lump.
Yeah, like a little hill, yeah? Let's go for it. Let's go for it. What's the worst that can happen? We're doing
If
a
you get-
£2,000 watch. I'm getting nervous now.
Novice.
See you later. See you later, Joe.
See you later, mate.
See that
Are
later.
you off to?
Yeah, it's fine again, look. What are you doing? Wait, copyright.
Where are you off
This
to?
is copyright.
Yeah.
Go for coffee, do lunch.
Yeah? Alright, we'll see you in a bit then. This whole machine is insane. How big it is.
That's the deep one's done. So you've got loads of little lumps, look. So what I can do now, increase the spot and just smooth those over.
Just some,
Oh,
you see?
yeah. That's almost just surface, that, Joe.
Yeah, don't worry about that then.
Literally just a touch, that is. As soon as you lap that, that's barely deeper than the laser engraving.
Okay.
Stick it on there anyway.
If you get a massive influx of customers and that, don't blame me, yeah?
Yeah.
Just be ready. Shows us like losing the logo and everything. Which is sacrilege.
Oh, like a cock and balls, that one.
Yeah, it looks like it's got a rash.
Yeah, chicken pox. You can see the lumps on all those, yeah?
Yeah.
So I think you'll have enough metal there. It's right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The edge is a bit on there, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's right on the
Not
actual.
do about that,
yeah,
is
that's
that?
on the angle. Yeah.
Take it back a little bit. You're happy with that? Or you don't want to fill it anymore?
Fine.
Yeah.
Leave a few of them. You know, keeps you honest. Yeah, bollocks, Ozzy. It's like a dog's dinner, that one. Alright, boys. Thanks for that, Daz.
Yeah, right. Cheers for the meat samosas.
Do that, boys.
Cheers, Jack.
Take care.
Everything go well. I thought, well, you will see.
Bit of lunch.
Cheese.
So, you can see, it looks like it's got measles, but hopefully I should now be able to polish that down. You can see someone's tried to remove those marks and they've ended up mirror polishing the whole thing. This whole back section is supposed to have a straight grain finish. Now it would have been great to do this whole thing on a belt sander, but this belt sander that I have has got an induction motor, so I can't really control the speed without changing my whole electrical circuitry. My lapping machine, I can purchase a belt sanding attachment, but that's another £8,000. Now I've got a company sending me one, a small one. I don't know when that's going to arrive, so in the meantime I'm going to use every other piece of machinery I have in the workshop to try and get a similar finish as I would have done with a belt sander. Gonna help me do some recording? Yeah. Go on then. Let me give you a quick look so far. We are starting to flatten all that out. Some of those are right on the angles, so we'll work on those later using the more accurate lapping table. I'm not taking it on the lapping machine right now, as I want to still try and spread some of that material around using the felt. I can use this whole angle here, get it level against the wheel and just gently work on it using that angle freehand just to get some of that big chunk of metal off. And also you can see this line was rounded off from the previous polish, and that line is also getting quite sharp now and quite straight just from that freehand method. See that pesky little scratch which we didn't fill in, still giving us a bit of grief. So there you go, I've washed it up. We've got a few little marks here and there which we'll leave in, keep it honest, no need to go any further. And I'm going to straight grain this section before I laser all the markings back on, but I'm going to keep this part mirrored, so I'll give that a final polish. It's not looking too bad. We've got those nice sharp lines you can see which were rounded off previously. Same on this side, nice crisp sharp lines. You can see those little scratches here on the edge which we didn't fill in with any metal. Those are still there, we'll leave those in. So let's go back onto the maps. This one. So just a light buff, just to give it a nice shine, and let's give that a straight grain. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, look at that.
I don't like that sound.
You don't like that sound?
No.
You can see those fill marks there. Hopefully that should disappear. You know the king's getting coronated, yeah?
Yeah.
I met the king when I was a kid.
You told me opening that gate.
No, it was that centre, the local community centre. He came down in his helicopter and we all lined up, and my dad was there, shook his hand, and we were all standing around watching. And I might just leave it at that. What do you reckon, our kid?
Looks nice.
Looks nice.
Yeah.
Do you reckon King Charlie would be proud of that?
I don't know.
You don't know. What do you know? You don't know anything. What do you know?
Oh, everything.
About what?
Maths.
Maths?
Yeah.
About Pokemon?
No.
And Dragon Ball Z?
No, that's not maths.
Yeah, I think that's
Before we do any more casework, let's remove the movement. And we have 4 screws. Now we have 4 more screws. And we have another gasket there. Delicious. We have a dial fit screw here, and there's another one tucked away on the other side, just there. Nice. Oh, this time you got me some cakes. Yeah. Nice one, lad. Did you watch the match? No. What's the score? Oh, yeah. What we do is check if there's any power. Oh, hello, Mr. Germ. No. Now that's interesting. The crown wheel, as you see, there's no screw, so it must be underneath the actual bridge. Click and spring R1, so we'll just leave that in there for now, and we'll work on the train bridge. I don't think this movement has ever been serviced before. I can't see a single sign of any previous intervention, or if somebody did, they did a really good job. Can't see any marks or any damaged screw heads. We'll probably have to remove this barrel bridge first, and that should also give us access to that center wheel. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little day trip out to all those cool little shops. Give us a change of pace and a change of scenery. Such a simple little movement. They always make their own movements and manufacture movement for other companies. Always a pleasure to work on their movements. Hello, Mr. Germ. Are you back to give me grief? Why you keep messing around with all my stuff, bro? Yeah, you better run. And he's gone. But even a company like this has to sell its soul at some point and become part of a big conglomerate. So they're part of the Richmond group. I suppose it helps when you need to share shop fronts and helps with logistics. Some small screws. That spring looks very efficient. It's fitted into that slit, so I think I'm going to leave that alone as well. And there we go. So we have a little screw there for that click spring. You probably just remove that if you wanted to replace it. We'll leave it in, and you can see the crown wheel is also fixed onto this sort of inner core. So we'll leave that alone as well. And when it comes to oiling it, we can just oil it from here. The mainspring is also very tiny and looks very fragile. Probably a size 0 or a size 1. So there you go. There are probably more case parts than movement parts here. I think if there was such a title as a watchmaker's watchmaker, I think many people would give it to this brand. Now this movement had so much case footage and there's more case work left. I don't think I'll have time for all these other shenanigans in the video, but I'll film it anyway. So now I'm just going to finish off this inner case and these lugs. So you can see they've brushed this, and it's supposed to be mirrored in most cases. They've brushed the part that's supposed to be mirrored, and then they mirrored the case back, which was supposed to be brushed. Maybe they were trying to create their own little unique design. So let's correct all that. We'll square this bit off, and from that line we'll round everything out. So I've got an original folding clasp here, and again been brushed. So instead of being polished properly, it's just been quickly brushed over to hide. Oh, and there's a bit of weirdness going on there, so I'll straighten that out and give that a nice polish.
So I'm going to keep it inside this clamp, because if I push it down here, I don't want it to spread out. So I also got a little piece of wood underneath there, because I don't want it to go the other way. Get in there, and now we can do it on the other side. That's a lot better, I think.
So I am using a size 1 today. this lid has got a bit of a tube thing going on it, so I'll get some oil around the edge. We'll do the same with the barrel. Although this is a tiny movement, it does have 93 parts and 18 joules. And if you can see, and if you have a look here, you can see this joule is actually capped. So that's the escape wheel joule, and as you can see, it's capped from the other side. And I don't want to be picking a fight with this thing with a pair of tweezers. So instead, I'll use my special oiler and oil it from the other side. And this oiler is skinnier than an ant's pubes. If you see, you see. If you don't, I'm having to do this with my loop, and we'll call it a day there. And it's the same on the bridge. Let's start off with a little bit of oil here. You can put HP 1300 or some D5. So we'll start off with the mainspring. And we'll go for the 5th wheel, which is your escape wheel, and then the 4th wheel, and then the 3rd wheel. You can just go there, and we'll get that bridge on. And I've already pre-oiled that cap jewel for the escape wheel. Just make sure everything moving nice and free, and then we can drop some screws in. What's going on there? And that should just seep in through those gaps, and then you can clean away anything that's on the surface, like so. Get it all around there, and we'll get the ratchet wheel in. That click sounds a little bit groggy. I'll just put a little bit just there. So we'll just do a bit of oiling. So we had 90-10 on the underside of the escape wheel, and some 90-10 here on the 4th wheel. And we put 8141 on the 3rd wheel, on the center wheel. So instead of the blue grease, they've recommended this one, 8200, presumably because it's a very fine, small movement. Now usually you see me put a bit on each surface because these two sides are going to be touching. You can't just put it on one surface. Drench the whole bloody thing, why don't you? Just give it a few winds. Yep, that's good. Bunga screw in. So last time I did this on the Omega video, I did it on my microscope. Although it showed that everything was recording, there was nothing on the memory card. So this time I'm recording the screen itself using my camera. Fool me once. Now let's see if we can get this glorious shot for you this time. I think I got the shot I wanted. Finally. Boom! Now there I was, all pleased with myself, ready to give myself a pat on the back and some extra cookies for finishing this movement without any dramas. But wait, something is not right with this hairspring. There is a bit of a tangle which I didn't really inspect in the beginning. Oh dearie me. Which wasn't going to be a problem, but there was more than just a tangle. Got a little twist going on there. Gotta sort that out. I didn't have the guts to film this in macro as I was running out of time to get this done before the coronation, and I didn't want to give myself even more problems. Now for some reason my hairspring keeps sticking. The coils keep sticking. What I'm going to do is heat up my ultrasonic up to 80, because I think I might have got some sort of shellac on it. I think there might be some sort of residue on the hairspring that's just causing the coils to stick. Sometimes they rest free and sometimes they just stick. There's no kinks or anything in there. What I'm going to do is just leave the roller jewel out, put it in a shallow amount of solution, and then put it in the ultrasonic at 80 degrees and see if that melts it off. Now, to eliminate future issues, it's always better to lay the blame at one's own doorstep. So in my last video of the Omega dress watch, I mentioned that I managed to get some shellac on my cleaning baskets, and although I melted it all off and serviced a few movements since then, there must have been some shellac residue hanging about somewhere which got onto my hairspring. So I cleaned the hairspring several times in various dips and solutions, and nothing solved the problem. So then I dipped it in some fine cerium oxide so that it sticks to whatever that was sticky, so that the coils would be free, allowing the solution to penetrate in between all the coils. I then put my ultrasonic temperature up to 80 degrees, and shellac usually melts at around 75 degrees Celsius. I made sure I didn't submerge the roller jewel, which is also held in with shellac, and didn't want that coming off. And finally, whenever I'm in a sticky situation, my girls always come to the rescue. So they lent me some nail polish remover, and after the nail polish remover, I finally cleaned it in L&R rinse aid and also gave the cap jewels a good clean. I made sure the rinse aid didn't heat up as the balance was now fully submerged, and I didn't want that roller jewel coming off. Finally, after 4 hours of faffing around, I'm sticking in the ultrasonic. Bad. Little bit more tweaking. Oh, there we go. That's settled down now. Phew. So now I'm off to see the lads at RF Bevan to finish off this case back. We did a few sample runs on copper and then stainless steel and made some minor tweaks here and there. Because this was a one-off piece, we didn't really have a jig, so we had to eyeball a lot of the positioning work. Andrew is a bit of a perfectionist and a great eyeballer at that, and in the end we decided it was time to coronate this thing and give it all its titles.
There was an internal camera on that machine, but it did fail.
Okay. Ooh, the moment of truth. Ah, that is awesome. That's like a factory finish, isn't it? Yeah? Awesome. Chuffed with that. Thank you so much for that.
No problem.
And it was a pleasure. That's amazing what they've done.
dum 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 dum. Da-da. Oh, would you care for a game of polo? Oh yes, well let me just turn my watch over. And there you go.
So I have the original JLC strap, but I'm just not feeling this green. So I think I'll just go for a nice shiny lizard. So there you have it, friends. A watch fit for a polo playing king or a queen. Now my brain's a bit foggy from all this cough medication, but wouldn't it be wonderful to have a true king? One who would unite us all to bring peace and justice to this world. One who could care less about a watch and trinkets, but instead more concerned about his subjects sleeping rough and going to bed hungry. But we can all dream, can't we? So I hope you enjoyed this one, especially those of you who were introduced to this model for the first time today. And it was an absolute pleasure doing this one for you all, as I love this model. I shall be on the hunt for a men's size squadra or a duo phase for the next reverso restoration, but don't hold your breath, as they don't ever turn up in need of a Nekkid watchmaker makeover. So thank you all for watching and chilling out with me today. Check out all the other videos if you're new to the channel. Like, share and subscribe, otherwise the YouTube algorithm thinks I'm a no good anti-establishment do-gooder. I'm also on Rumble now, and you can also support me on Patreon if you like. Take care of yourselves, friends, and take care of each other. Peace, love and blessings to you all. And if the Almighty wills, I'll see you on the next one. Ta-ra a bit.